Have you ever noticed how some people in their 70s seem to have the energy of someone decades younger, while others feel worn down by daily tasks? Research shows that by age 70, simple measures like how well you recover after climbing stairs or how easily you carry a grocery bag can predict your health 5 to 10 years down the line. In a study of over 2,500 adults, those who took longer than 20 seconds to climb a short flight of stairs were twice as likely to develop mobility issues within 5 years, and those who struggled to lift a 5-kilogram weight had a 30% higher chance of needing hospitalization. Imagine Irene and Fred, both 73. Irene still carries heavy shopping bags without pause, catches herself easily if she trips, and greets each day with a walk around her neighbourhood. Fred, on the other hand, hesitates before picking up his bags, pauses to rest halfway up the stairs, and finds himself avoiding walks he once loved. Those small differences in everyday tasks tell a clear story about muscle strength, heart health, and even how well the brain and body talk to each other. In the next few minutes, we'll look at 7 simple signs you can check today, signals that give you a window into your future health and, more importantly, show you where to focus your efforts to stay active and independent for years to come. But before we start, let us know in the comments below, where are you watching from today? I would love to know. Sign number 1, your walking speed. Your usual walking speed may be the single simplest way to gauge your overall health and predict your lifespan after age 70. Researchers tracking more than 34,000 adults aged 65 and older over a 10-year period found that those who walked faster than 1.0 meters per second had a 43% lower risk of death than peers who walked slower than 0.6 milers. Even after adjusting for chronic diseases, smoking, and body mass, each increase of 0.1 millisecond in walking speed cut mortality risk by 12%. Walking speed reflects the combined health of your heart, lungs, leg muscles, and nervous system. A brisk, steady pace signals good cardiovascular fitness, strong lower body strength, and efficient oxygen use. A slower, uneven gait can hint at reduced muscle power, stiffer arteries, or early changes in brain regions that coordinate movement. Joe and Frank, both 75, show the difference. Joe's average pace is 1.2 meters on his daily 30-minute walk. He crosses streets confidently, climbs stairs without pausing, and rarely needs a handrail. Frank moves at 0.5 meters, stops every few minutes to catch his breath, and grips railings tightly on steps. In practical terms, Frank is nearly twice as likely as Joe to need walking aids or face mobility-related hospital admissions in the next 5 years. Improving your walk is straightforward. Start by logging 30 minutes of walking 5 days each week. To boost your pace, weave in short speed bursts, walk briskly for 30 seconds every 5 minutes, then return to your comfortable pace. In studies, people who added these intervals raised their average walking speed by 10 to 15% within 8 weeks. Strengthening your legs helps too. 3 times per week, do 3 sets of 15 heel raises and 3 sets of 15 bodyweight squats. Adding light ankle weights during your walks can accelerate gains in calf and thigh strength. Sign number 2, your ability to stand on one leg. Being able to lift one foot off the ground and hold that position for 10 seconds or more may sound like a simple party trick, but it reveals a lot about the health of your muscles, nerves, and even your brain. In a study that followed 1,711 adults aged 51 to 75 for 7 years, each additional second held during a one-leg stand test was linked to a 6% reduction in the risk of death from any cause over the follow-up period. Those who couldn't manage at least 10 seconds had nearly double the rate of falls and related injuries compared with people who could hold 30 seconds or more. Why does this matter? Balance depends on 3 systems working together. Muscle strength in your legs and core. Strong glutes, thighs, and abdominals keep you steady over one small base of support. Sensory input from joints and skin. Nerve endings in your ankles and feet send information about foot position to your brain. Brain processing speed. Your brain must quickly integrate those signals and send back corrective commands to muscles. When any of those systems weaken, your balance falters. In practical terms, that means more frequent stumbles, a higher chance of serious injuries from falls, and even hints of early changes in brain health. Take Carol and Nancy, both 72. Carol has walked at least 30 minutes every day for the past decade and practices gentle yoga twice a week. When she lifts her right foot, she reaches 25 seconds on the clock without wavering. Nancy, who spends most days seated and skips strength training, manages only 5 seconds before grabbing a chair. That gap isn't just about steadiness. It marks a real difference in how well their muscles and nervous systems are working. If you struggle to reach 10 seconds, you can improve in short order. In one trial, middle-aged adults who practiced 3 30-second one-leg stands per leg every day for 8 weeks cut their sway by 30% and doubled their hold time. Adding heel-to-toe walking, placing your heel directly in front of your opposite toes along a straight line, 5 minutes a day reduced fall risk by 1/3 in older women over a 6-month period. Simple Tai Chi routines, done for 20 minutes 3 times a week, improved balance scores by 20% after 2 months. Here's a plan to get started. Each morning, stand near a countertop or sturdy chair. Lift one foot and hold for as long as you can, up to 30 seconds. Rest, then switch legs. Repeat 3 times. Next, walk heel to toe along a hallway for 5 minutes. Finish with 2 or 3 minutes of slow flowing Tai Chi movements, focusing on shifting your weight from one foot to the other. Over 4 weeks, aim to increase your single leg hold by 2 to 3 seconds each session. Improving balance doesn't just help prevent falls. It keeps your joints healthy, eases back pain, and supports your ability to move confidently in everyday life, whether you're climbing stairs, reaching overhead, or simply stepping off a curb. And the sooner you start, the more you'll safeguard your independence and well-being in the decades ahead. Sign number 3, your ability to handle stress. How you respond to life's pressures after 70 can shape not only your mood, but your long-term health. In a study of nearly 3,000 adults over age 65 followed for 10 years, those who reported high levels of perceived stress had a 30% greater risk of death than peers who managed stress well. Chronic stress keeps your body locked in fight or flight, raising cortisol levels that over time damage blood vessels, weaken immune response, and accelerate the wear on your cells. John and Richard, both 76, illustrate the divide. When unexpected medical bills arrived, John took a deep breathing break, made a clear plan, and reached out to his community for advice. He continued his regular brisk walks and met a friend for coffee each week, sharing a laugh and letting concerns go. His sleep stayed solid at 7 hours nightly. His blood pressure held around 122/78, and his energy remained steady. Richard, however, let each worry spin in his mind. He replayed worst-case scenarios late into the night, skipped his morning walk because what's the point, and withdrew from his bridge club. His cortisol stayed elevated all day, his sleep fell below 6 hours, and his late-night heart rate averaged 5 beats per minute higher than John's. Over 5 years, Richard's risk of developing heart disease rose by 40%, and he reported more frequent colds and longer recovery times. Long-term stress sparks inflammation throughout the body. In one trial of older adults, those with the highest stress scores showed 50% more of the inflammatory marker C-reactive protein in their blood. High CRP levels predict risk of Alzheimer's, stroke, and arthritis, all conditions that reduce both lifespan and quality of life. Learning to manage stress can reverse much of that damage. In a controlled 8-week program, seniors who practice 20 minutes of guided meditation 5 days a week cut their evening cortisol levels by 25%, lowered their resting heart rate by 4 beats per minute, and reported a 35% uptick in positive mood. Others who added simple laughter exercises, sharing jokes or watching a funny show, saw similar drops in blood pressure and stress hormones. If you often feel tense, irritable, or mentally drained, start small. Pause for a few slow breaths when you notice tension rising. Reach out to a friend rather than stewing alone. Set aside time each day for something you enjoy, whether it's a short walk, listening to your favorite music, or flipping through a picture album. Over weeks, these moments add up, easing your body's stress response and protecting your heart, brain, and immune system. Sign number 4, your grip strength. Your grip strength, how hard you can squeeze a handheld dynamometer or even just another person's hand, turns out to be one of the clearest gauges of overall health in older adults. A large analysis of more than 140,000 adults over age 35 found that for every 5 kilograms drop in grip strength, there was a 16% increase in the risk of dying from any cause over the next 12 years. Low grip strength also predicted an earlier loss of independence, more frequent hospital stays, and higher rates of cardiovascular events. Think of your hands as the canary in the coal mine. They're often the first to show signs of muscle loss, reduced blood flow, or nerve dysfunction. In later stages, that loss spreads to the rest of your body, making you more prone to injuries and illness. Robert and Walter, both 78, illustrate the contrast well. Robert pumps 35 keys on a grip dynamometer test. He gardens, carries groceries without pain, and opens jars easily. Walter measures just 20 kilotils now, down from 28 kilotils 5 years ago. He finds opening bottles stiff and has stopped playing catch with his grandchildren. That decline warns of sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass that accelerates after age 60. Studies show that losing just 1 kg of hand grip strength corresponds to a 17% higher risk of disability within the next 5 years. The good news is that grip strength responds quickly to targeted training. In one small trial of adults over 65, participants who used adjustable hand grippers 3 times a week for 8 weeks boosted their grip by an average of 25%. Another study had volunteers perform farmers' walks, carrying 4 to 6 kilograms in each hand for 20 meters, 3 times per session, twice a week. After 10 weeks, they not only improved grip by 18%, but also showed lower blood markers of inflammation. To fit grip work into your routine, squeeze a tennis ball or stress ball 10 times with each hand, rest, then repeat 2 more sets 3 times weekly. You can also keep a pair of light dumbbells by your couch and do farmers' walks up and down the hall for 5 minutes each evening. Over 2 months, you should notice jars twist open more easily, and everyday tasks like carrying shopping bags will feel lighter. Strong hands matter far beyond opening jars or winning a handshake contest. They help you push yourself off a chair, hold onto railings, and stabilize yourself in crowded places. Maintaining or boosting grip strength preserves your ability to live independently, stay active, and enjoy hobbies that keep your mind and body engaged. Sign number 5, your social connections. The company you keep may be as important to your lifespan as any medical treatment. A landmark analysis of 148 studies covering more than 300,000 participants found that adults with strong social ties had a 50% lower risk of dying prematurely than those who were isolated or lonely. Being part of a community reduces stress, keeps your mind active, and even boosts your body's defenses against illness. Eleanor and Barbara, both 78, offer a clear contrast. Eleanor checks in with her book club every Wednesday, hosts a monthly potluck for neighbours, and video chats with her grandchildren twice a week. Her days feel full of purpose, laughter comes easily, and she rates her own mood as good or excellent on 8 out of 10 days. Her doctor notes her cholesterol and blood sugar are in healthy ranges, and she reports few aches or colds. Barbara spends most of her time alone. After losing touch with old friends, she stopped answering invitations and rarely makes calls. Weeks can pass without a meaningful conversation. She finds herself worrying more, her sleep has fragmented, and she's noticed a steady tightening in her chest when she thinks about going out. In the past 3 years, Barbara has had 2 hospital stays for respiratory infections, and she reports lower energy and more difficulty focusing. Social interaction lowers the body's stress response. Meeting with friends releases oxytocin, a hormone that reduces blood pressure and inflammation. In one 8-week study, adults over 70 who joined a weekly discussion group saw their average systolic blood pressure drop by 8 points and their white blood cell activity improve by 20%. That boost in immune function helps fend off infections and supports better healing. Building connections doesn't require grand gestures. A short phone call, a shared cup of tea, or a walk with a neighbour all count. Volunteering for as little as 2 hours a week, helping at a library, mentoring young people, or walking shelter dogs gives you regular contact and a sense of purpose. In research on older adults who volunteered regularly, participants had 25% less risk of depression and reported higher satisfaction with life. If you've been retreating from friends or putting off social plans, try this. Reach out to one person today. Send a text, leave a voicemail, or invite someone for a brief chat. Even a 10-minute conversation can lift your mood and remind you that you're part of a wider world. Over time, those small connections build resilience against stress, support mental sharpness, and can add years of healthy living. Sign number 6, your sleeping patterns. How you sleep each night can be as telling of your future health as any blood test. In a long-term study of more than 8,000 adults over age 70, those who averaged fewer than 6 hours of sleep per night faced a 30% higher risk of death over the next 8 years compared with peers who slept 7 to 8 hours and woke feeling rested. Poor sleep quality, waking more than twice per night, or spending less than 15% of total time in deep, slow-wave sleep, is linked to a 40% greater chance of developing high blood pressure and a 50% greater risk of memory decline over 5 years. Take Sam and Graham, both 74. Sam goes to bed at 10, reads a few pages and drifts off. He sleeps around 7 hours, waking once briefly and then sliding easily back to sleep. When he rises, he feels alert. His blood pressure stays around 120/75, and his latest memory tests put him firmly in the top third for his age group. Graham, by contrast, tosses and turns. He wakes 3 to 4 times, often lies awake for 20 minutes or more, and struggles with daytime fatigue. His blood pressure readings have crept up from 130/80 to 145/88, and he's noticed names slipping away more often. Your brain clears out waste products during deep sleep, and your immune system mounts its defense while you rest. Fragmented or too short sleep means less time in those critical phases. In one 8-week intervention, older adults who switched off all screens an hour before bed and lowered bedroom light levels saw their deep sleep time rise by 25%, and their nightly awakenings dropped from an average of 4 to 2. Their daytime alertness scores improved by nearly 35%. If you find yourself lying awake, start by fixing bedtime and wake time, even on weekends. Get sunlight for 15 minutes each morning to help reset your internal clock. Avoid large meals and caffeine after 6 in the evening. Try a brief walk in daylight rather than scrolling on your phone. In trials, these simple changes reduced sleep onset time by 10 minutes on average and boosted nightly sleep efficiency from 75% to over 85% within a month. Watching how you sleep tonight could be the best early warning system you have. If you're waking unrefreshed, feeling foggy after hours in bed, or seeing your blood pressure inch upward, take action now. Better sleep strengthens your heart, sharpens your mind, and helps you stay healthier for years to come. Sign number 7, your appetite and eating habits. What you choose to eat and whether you feel hungry enough to eat at all can predict how long and how well you'll live after 70. Research shows that unintended weight loss of more than 5% in a year raises mortality risk by 20% in seniors, and poor appetite affects up to 30% of adults over 75. In one 5-year follow-up, those reporting a loss of appetite were twice as likely to require hospitalization and had a 25% greater chance of developing frailty compared with those who enjoyed regular meals. Margaret and Susan, both 74, highlight the difference. Margaret looks forward to breakfast, lunch and dinner. She eats a colourful plate of vegetables, lean protein, whole grains and healthy fats at each sitting. Her weight has held steady at 132 pounds for years, and muscle mass scans show she retains nearly 90% of her lean tissue compared with her younger self. Susan, however, has felt less hungry for the past year. She often skips breakfast, grabs convenience foods high in sodium and sugar, and has dropped from 140 to 130 pounds, mostly muscle, not fat. Her doctors worry that her immune markers are slipping and that she's at a higher risk of infections and falls. As we age, our senses dull, hormones shift and digestion slows. Protein needs rise to about 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight to preserve muscle, yet many older adults fall below that target. In a small trial, seniors who added a 200-calorie protein-rich snack, 1 cup of Greek yogurt, or 2 ounces of lean turkey between meals for 8 weeks, gained on average 2 pounds of muscle mass and reported a 30% jump in daily energy. If your appetite is fading, pay attention. Make meals colourful by adding berries or roasted peppers. Choose soft proteins like eggs, fish or cottage cheese if chewing is tiring. Drink water or herbal tea before meals rather than during, so you're not filling up on liquids. Consider small, frequent meals instead of 3 large ones, and aim for at least 25 grams of protein per meal. When researchers used that approach, participants in a nursing home setting cut their fall rate by 15% and improved walking speed by 8% over 3 months. The way you eat after 70 isn't just a matter of enjoyment. It's your body's way of getting the fuel to repair cells, fight infections, and maintain strength. Ignoring a shrinking appetite can accelerate muscle loss, weaken immunity, and shorten both lifespan and health span. By keeping an eye on your hunger and making each bite count, you give yourself the best chance to stay strong, active, and independent in the years ahead. Now that you know these 7 signs, take a moment to reflect on where you stand. Are you moving through life with strength and confidence, or have you noticed subtle changes that might be warning signs? The good news is that most of these factors, your walking speed, grip strength, balance, sleep quality, eating habits, stress levels, and social connections, are things you can improve. Your future isn't set in stone, and the choices you make today can have a powerful impact on how many years you have ahead of you. If you've recognized areas where you need to improve, don't wait for a doctor to tell you it's time to make a change. Start now. Take more walks, strengthen your muscles, prioritize good sleep, stay socially connected, and find ways to manage stress. The goal isn't just to live longer, it's to live better. Because at the end of the day, longevity isn't just about the number of years you have left, but the quality of life you experience in those years. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.